Okay, if you haven't watched Werewolf by Night, I suggest that you go watch it now, because Werewolf by Night might just change the future of the MCU. After watching the show, I realized that it was only going to be a one episode thing, and I don't know how I really feel about that, but I really don't know what else they could tell. There's not really many Werewolf by Night comics, if I'm going to be honest with you. I know that the first comic appearance of Moon Knight appeared in Werewolf by Night back in Marvel Spotlight #2, written by Jack Russell. I never really read any of the comics, though. I really don't know that much about the character. All I know is that they did a really good job with the show. I mentioned a while back in a couple podcasts earlier that I wish that we would be able to go back to the sort of tone that Marvel used to have back in Phase 1 through 3. Of course, you just don't get that same feeling in Phases 4. Hopefully, maybe they can kind of reroute us back to that feeling that we once had. Of course, we'll never get the same thing, but, I gotta say, Werewolf by Night so far is probably like my favorite project now amongst all of the MCU stuff, along with the Doctor Strange stuff, of course, because he's one of my favorites, but, Werewolf by Night was just really gritty. It was really, dare I say, it was a little bit spooky. Of course, it's October. Overall, I think it was just really good writing, really good story. Like I said, I don't really know that much about the character at all. I don't even know anything about like the Bloodstone or the Bloodstone family, whether or not they're comic book accurate or not. We can only really go off of what the show gives us. That there's a society of hunters, monster hunters, if you will, and like their leader has like died. Of course, I think he was like really, really old. Monsters do not like the Bloodstone, as you could see in the show when Jack was getting the stone used on him to more or less turn him into the werewolf. So the stone's a little bit kind of mysterious. It's kind of got like special powers. I don't know where it came from, but thing looks pretty cool. It's kind of like an amulet almost. The Hunters Society, if you will, kind of like lost their leader, and then they were having a funeral for him. But of course, I think the reason why they were having this event, basically the event was that you were going to fight a monster, and the Bloodstone was going to be attached to the monster, weakening it. So whoever killed the monster got the Bloodstone. And whoever had the Bloodstone, was like top chief of like all the hunters, I guess, which was kind of weird because there was only like a few hunters there. I'd imagine the society of hunters would be like more than just like 4 or 5 people, but so all the hunters are kind of in like a death match basically, and one of them holds the stones. It's kind of like in a death match, basically, and they're in like a maze, and there's a monster on the loose in the maze with the Bloodstone, and they have to go find him and kill him and get the Bloodstone, all while also trying to avoid the other hunters, or kill them if they get in their way. Some of the deaths in this show were pretty wild. They were a little bit disturbing, and that's actually kind of what I really like in a Marvel movie. Of course, we've never had anything quite like this in a Marvel movie, like a death in a Marvel movie like this before. Hopefully they keep it up, especially with Blade coming out. I don't really know what the rating for Blade is going to be, but hopefully it's going to be like either rated R or rated I don't know. Hopefully it's just not a rated PG-13 movie. Hopefully not. I really want them to go all out with that Blade movie. Kind of like what they did with this. There was a lot of blood in this show. It was, like I said, it was really disturbing. Especially, we get to finally see Man-Thing. The way that Man-Thing just kills people is really spooky to me. When he just touches people and they just, like, incinerate, I think that's really fucking cool. At the same time, really disturbing. So, I don't know. I'm pretty sure Werewolf by Night is considered canon. Whether or not it's in the same universe or not, I have no idea. I know a lot of people were thinking that there were going to be TVA agents in this show. Of course, they're not. They're just guards for the Bloodstone family house But now all of them are dead pretty much. So also I can kind of understand why people would think that there would be TVA agents, because Man-Thing has the ability to traverse the multiverse, basically. It kind of makes sense that there would be TVA agents, but of course they weren't, so it's kind of a bummer. But I really hope that they put Werewolf by Night in Blade, if I'm going to be honest with you. I just feel like he would belong there. Whether I have no idea if they're going forward with these movies, if they're gonna make any other monster movies, maybe like one just specific on Man-Thing or not. I think it'd be pretty cool if we got a Man-Thing show. Of course, I don't think there are any comics based on him. I don't think there's any solo series. I have no idea. I haven't checked, but if they made one, I think it'd be pretty cool. Monsters in the Marvel Universe would be something really cool to see. Just like we see the monsters that are like hung up on the walls that the Bloodstone family has killed, and just kind of like hung up like trophies. I think that would be something really cool. Of course, we have aliens, but we don't really have monsters. So hopefully going forward, they decide to add more beasts to the Marvel Universe. I think that would be really cool. I'd probably have to say my favorite part of this whole show is probably Jack turning into the werewolf. I thought it was really cool. I thought the way that they used the amulet to turn him, the way that it was explained was that, of course, werewolves, they turn every full moon. So the power of the amulet, the Bloodstone, the power of the Bloodstone has the ability to turn him into a werewolf within like 5 seconds. Because I remember Jack had mentioned that the next full moon was in 5 days, and then she had said that the stone had the ability to turn him into a werewolf within like 5 seconds. So, and of course we saw it happen. The fight scene between the Werewolf by Night and all the guards were really cool. I gotta say that's a favorite of mine as well. They really picked up on like horror and thrills with this show. I thought it was great. It's probably my favorite so far, like I said. Like I said, if you haven't gone to see it, I would go watch it. But anyways, thank you for listening. You know where you can find me. You can find me at twitch.tv/hotpocket61. You can follow Tristan at twitch.tv/ApolloYourKing. Do go subscribe to his W Energy. If you use his code, you can get a percentage off on your orders. Thank you, and good night.